Hi, my name is Ariaa, and this is Ariaaisms, spiritual food for the soul. Today I'd like to talk to you about something that I just wrote a blog on, because it's so important to me. None of us know how long we're going to be on earth. We don't know the number of years, how long or how short our life will be. So, it's so important to live with purpose and intention. When you live with divine purpose and intention, when you really live deliberately, you'll see how essential it is to leave a mark on everything you touch, a mark of kindness, a mark of goodness. It's also critical to the rest of us that you leave a legacy. What good will your life be if you spend it just rambling about and don't leave anything behind? Can you imagine what life would be if everybody that came to the earth never left anything behind? We wouldn't have the inventions we have today. We wouldn't have the technology. We wouldn't have some of the greatest discoveries that we've ever seen on this planet today if it weren't for people who lived their life deliberately, with purpose, trying to leave something good behind, leaving a legacy. You know, a legacy can be everything from creating a product, an idea, a movement, poetry, music, dance, theater, a play perhaps, a movie. You know, it can be everything from the smallest seed you plant in the heart of another, something that you've written down that goes on, an heirloom perhaps, a piece of jewelry, you know, something that you leave behind that meant something to you, that has a story. You know, you've heard that old adage, everybody has a story. Well, it's yours to create that story. And everybody has gifts. Everybody has special abilities. Now, maybe you've been too lazy or too complacent, or you just didn't know how to bring it to fruition. But everybody has something wondrous to leave behind, something that will linger in the hearts of others long after you're gone. You know, scents are often an interesting legacy, because in the old days, in the 50s, grandmas all wore Chantilly. And yet, you know, today we have more refined perfumes and colognes, and yet you'll walk past an old lady and you'll smell that Chantilly still on them. And you'll go, P.U. And yet you stop and think, that's a memory to someone else. That's not P.U. to someone else. That's Grandma. That's the smell of Grandma to someone else. Now, that may not be a very big legacy, but to that woman's grandchildren it is. I have a former client. Years ago, his father invented the patent for caramel coloring for Coca-Cola. Now, that may not be something, but can you imagine if Coca-Cola was white or yellow? That caramel coloring, to me, indicates it's a Coca-Cola. He's gone on to invent something. In fact, he did a reading with me many years ago, and it took some sessions with me, and I kept telling him he was supposed to invent something that would help people, handicapped people, all over the world. Well, he kind of put it on a back burner and didn't pay attention. But one night he was awakened by the voice of something quite profound, something he called God. And that voice said, why haven't you done what Ariaa told you to do? Why haven't you invented this wonderful device that's going to help thousands and thousands of handicapped people? And you know, it scared him so much that he was hearing this voice. After all, this is a Stanford-educated man, and he had never had any of these kinds of experiences. So, the Holy Spirit used a word that this educated man, or overeducated man, had never heard, and he actually began arguing with the voice. He said, I don't believe that's a word. And he got up and he got the dictionary out, and lo and behold, it was a word, and he had never heard it. So now he knew what he was hearing wasn't his imagination, that it was real. Well, the very next night, the voice returned in the middle of the night and awoke him again, and said that things were going to change down here on the planet, that there were going to be a lot of things develop, and this was many years ago. And he said by the time he awoke in the morning that a minor ruler would have died and left the earth, And he told him some new other things that would be forthcoming, just so this man would know that indeed he was speaking to and hearing from Spirit. The next morning he woke up, and while he was at the gym, he heard that Prince Rainier of Monaco had died. Well, suffice to say, he brought $20 million. He was a very wealthy man, obviously. He brought $20 million down to Colorado Springs and donated it to the university to invent. He brought the prototype to invent this thing that has gone on to help many, many people since. Don't exactly know what they call it, but I know what it does. And it's helped thousands of people ever since. Leave a legacy. Leave something of you behind. You know, every day I post on Facebook original quotes, Ariaa quotes and Ariaaisms, spiritual food for the soul. I leave these videos behind, hopeful that if I left the earth tomorrow, that these videos and my writings and my words and teachings will go on to inspire millions of you and your offspring. You know, it's so essential that we don't just die with the wisdom inside of us, but we leave it for others to carry on. Your joy, your laughter, whatever's in your heart to create or invent, to write or sing about. You know, I'm not really much of a singer, but a lot of you have enjoyed my music, and I think when I die, those songs will live on. Now, they'll never reach the masses like famous singers, but there's a handful of you that love my version of Amazing Grace, and that will live on, and perhaps you'll even begin to feel me in the song once I'm gone. So, I urge you to look at your life, to live deliberately, to put your purpose out there and to live it fully, to leave a lasting mark on everyone you pass, everything you touch. You're their memory. You're a memory to someone else. You may not know how many seeds you've planted, but if you just keep planting them, you'll populate the entire universe. If you'd like to know more about leaving a legacy and how to make a difference on this planet, get in touch with me. My name is Ariaa Jaeger, and you can find me at ariaa.com. That's ARIAA.com, or most days on Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget how unique you are, what a gift to life you are, and be sure to use your heart and soul to love out loud. God bless. Take care of each other.